Welcome back. We're catching this trend that's happening in D.C. Republican congressmen reportedly want to impeach 3 judges blocking the Trump agenda in court. It's Rhode Island U.S. District Judge Paul Engelmeyer, also federal Judge John Bates, and Judge John McConnell. Let's bring in from House Judiciary Congressman Darrell Issa. Congressman, it's good to see you. So you have a new bill to stop federal judges nationwide trying to derail President Trump's or any president's agenda. Can you talk to us about it?
Well, absolutely. Look, the history of the court is that the Supreme Court makes decisions for all of the land. District court judges make a decision in their district in a case. But what's happened over the last few years is activist judges, mostly outside of Washington, D.C., have decided that they can do a nationwide injunction. Ultimately, many of them are overturned. But during the interim, they can literally stop an entire nation or an entire world from operating. That is wrong. If they want to come to the D.C. Circuit, that's fine. If they want to wait and get to the Supreme Court, that's fine. But the idea they would file in Hawaii against the Trump administration and stop him nationwide is unacceptable.
So what is the fix in your bill?
Well, the fix simply says that, as is tradition, they can make an injunction in their area of jurisdiction, but it doesn't apply to the rest of the country. They wouldn't do those if they couldn't do nationwide injunctions. The fact is, plaintiffs would come to the D.C. Circuit, which does have nationwide authority, and they would ultimately end up at the Supreme Court. They've chosen not to do that because they can find a sympathetic judge rather than find the real justice. And that's the reason so many of these cases, although they look good in the beginning, they get overturned ultimately.
Are other lawmakers supporting your new bill?
Yes, I expect that it will run through judiciary relatively quickly. Clearly, if this were the Biden administration, they might be more interested in it. But today, this abuse is one in which probably most Democrats won't support it. But it's the right thing to do, and it's the right time to do it.
Well, it would also protect any future potential Democrat president, right?
Absolutely. This doesn't know a party. It knows what's right and wrong. There are almost 700 district court judges. Each one of them should not be able to shut down the nation. That's what we're going to change.
Got it. Congressman Issa, thanks for joining us tonight. That was really interesting.